years ago to the day. 3 South Africans went to Daytona and won the Daytona 24. And guess what? All 3 of them here at Zwartkops, fantastic. First of all, Sol, still active, as is Graham Duxbury, as is Tony Martin. Sol, what have you been doing in the meantime? I mean, that really put your name on the map to Daytona. Well, and other things.
Well, I raced for a few more years, and of late I'm running a 4x4 competition. But I try not to do too much, Roger, you know.
But you always tried to do that.
Yeah, it's not a great one for work, but anyway.
No, but I must say, you even outdrive the 4x4 guys. As an all-rounder, 4x4s, you go in that, you do it, rallying you did it, and you do it in racing as well. I mean, it's been fantastic. And you're still keeping yourself fit. Would you like to get more involved in circuit racing?
I miss it, yes. Absolutely. I'd like to do more. And this, you know, this historic series sort of suits me. I fit into the scenery with my hair and all the rest of it, so that's.
But you know, you can see how the crowd react to you. I mean, to you number one, and also to those big cars. They just love the big cars.
They're so nice to drive as well because they do nothing right. So it's yeah, it looks like it also feels like an accident looking for a place to happen.
Pity about your Daytona win. There wasn't that TV coverage. These guys now well known, not only in South Africa, around the world, thanks to TV. But there was nothing we really had that we could watch at Daytona. We just heard it through reports.
You know, that's absolutely true, except that I think that the motorsport community was a much tighter one then. And certainly when we got back, everybody knew, and they'd followed it through, whether it be on the radio, on the newspapers afterwards. But it was a much tighter community, whereas today we're far more disparate and only are connected via the internet or via television. I'm not sure which is better. Maybe you're more famous then, but you know what, I don't think the fame had anything to do with it. It was just the fantastic opportunity of racing in America and surprisingly winning it, because certainly none of the Americans thought we were going to win it. And I like to tell the story that when I won the race, sorry, there were 2 other drivers as well, was when we went to the prize giving, they didn't know which one was Sorrel, which one was Graham, and which one was Tony. We had to introduce ourselves.
You know, it was tremendous in America. All the guys in motor racing from that day on became our mates. We had a magnum of champagne, or even a bigger one. By the time we got to the prize giving, we were too drunk to really appreciate it. But it was fantastic. It was absolutely something that is like.
I mean, that was the big event. I think other than Sorrel winning Trans Am races, that was starting to get overseas races through to the public here. But that became the big event, actually, as far as sports cars went.
Well, in America, other than you know, their NASCAR series, the 24-hour is the event. That and Le Mans are known to be appreciated to be the best.
And just going back on this, just to put on record, how far from the end of 24 hours is a long way to go. How far did you reckon you had a chance in that?
Well, you know, we took the lead pretty early on until one of the stupid drivers ran out of petrol.
We then proceeded to lose after he wouldn't come in, and I had to carry fuel to the car. So we were.
You still don't forget that, or forgive.
We were in contention for most of the race. In fact, from the start, we qualified quite well, and we sort of kept it there.
You must have shattered the gas. Okay, and you're racing now, all going well. I mean, you've got back into racing and flying, as is Sorrel, and I'm sure Graham's going to be the same.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. I haven't really stopped, you know.
Well, here's the second race for the Execuline Super Prix World Series for Formula Juniors as the way they go. And number 71 on the left-hand side of your picture goes round the outside of Buhofer. Oh, he went on the curb. Had nowhere else to go from. This gets rough.
This is getting a bit rough. I mean, Marcus Musa really is getting the
hang of
bit between the teeth there, and he's just. And look at this. I mean, everybody's going all the way through. I mean, number 92, Don Talon, and that MRCF again. What a wonderful little car. I mean, just look at the colour of that car.
There's something like 80 men in fact. Musa's got a lead there. There's Buhofer in second position. Chris Drake is in that picture as well. He's driving number 51 at Alba with a bit of a history there. They were fairly brittle cars that used to shed wheels and brake suspension, but like the Lotus, that the whole idea of Colin Chapman said, as you cross the finishing line, your car should just fall apart. It's got to be that light. There's a leader. That's
Marcus Musa.
Yeah, Marcus
really coming in very well there, Roger. I mean, just pulling it up. And look at the way the guys are throwing these cars around this track. I mean, they are driving, and there's racing going on here, Roger. As I said earlier, it's not just a bunch of gentlemen having a parade.
No, they're not. They really do race in the World Series, and they've come out here for their final. And they take it very seriously, and it's an expensive way to go motor race. Mockers had one of the high rail cages at the back.
That was close.
Very close.
Very close. I mean, if you think, you know, the logistics required here as well, the time it takes these cars to get here. I think the guys from Australia left at the end of November. And it's just great to see them giving it stick.
Absolutely. There's Mockett in number 22. Sits very high. It's quite a tall guy as he comes in. We've got Ned Speaker too. He won the first race that we showed last week. in his Lotus 23. Now he's got a front engine car. We'll see that a little bit later in this program. 51 goes out of that corner, and that is Chris Drake in that Elva, and it's starting to shape really. The Elva, the lightweight of that car, certainly, mind you, they're all the same way. Mockett comes up the inside. He's taken 2, now he's only taken 1. Here he comes. So he presses on. He was 4th and last one behind Longden, and he's not going to let Longden beat him this time, or he hopes
you
not.
can see here he's working at steering wheel. He's managed to get through there.
Buhofer.
Philip Buhofer coming through, the winner of the previous race. I mean, he seems to have not had such a good start, but he's really trying to work his way through now.
He's scratching his head.
I think he's fiddling with his visor, or he's trying to decide where to go.
I thought he was doing a bit of thinking, how am I going to do that? But he comes down the road, and Longden's going quickly this time. There he comes down the road. Mockett's the next one. You can see him easily there with his roll cage. Now remember, as we said in the first race, these cars were originally raced without roll cage. We had famous ones come out here that became Formula 1 cars in South Africa. They put V8. Like the first Lotus was a V8 1500cc magic little motor. It's very, very close in the front. It's Musa, and it is
He's managed to move it up there, and then we've got car number 76.
That's Vern Williamson from the UK, yeah.
In the Osper T3. It's great to see these cars out here.
That's Ned Speaker. He's the San Franciscan coming. That almost looks like a little Van Wall, that car of his, number 67. He's got the black helmet. There he is. Very nicely tucked away in that motor car. Van Wall, or maybe a Lotus look about it, of that motor car. And that is a...
It's actually a Lola Mark II, and it was of the era when they had the front engine cars, and it's actually amazing to see the front engine cars racing against the rear engine cars. You can actually see the development of formula cars, in motorsport. Okay, there we go.
Right, he's blown it there.
And he's doing his warfare by the looks of it. So.
He's got to just watch the traffic come past him. There's Ben Morgenroot watching there with Peter
Mike
Leclerc.
Bond sitting on his left-hand side.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're doing.
Yeah, they're all watching the race to pick up tips, maybe. I don't think so. Anyway, back in the action he goes, does Buhofer, but he's got no chance of being in the top 3 this time. I don't know if we did mention, these are 1000cc motor cars, and they're lapping the circuit going around at 1 minute 13. 1000cc 4-speed gearboxes, and they go and they rev, and these guys give it everything they've got. And all standard motors that have taken tune.
And they're not 100% specially race-built motors like the, GP2 cars of today, but well-designed cars, built to last, and yes, the gentleman could go racing.
But it's a Cooper there of Dave Reed from Australia. You can pick him up in number 16. He's just gone through the corner now. There he is, pulling out of the corner. He got the Australian element all together. They race in Perth and Queensland, up in Brisbane, then down in Sydney, and down in Melbourne, in fact. So this has been a very strong movement. They've had 10 Australians out here in the country and having a wonderful day. They just think we've got the greatest circuit, greatest weather, greatest crowd. They love everything about this racing. And when they get on the track, they are prepared to give it a full go.
Drake trying
problems.
Oopsie,
the Elva. We said they were brittle. Oh, the wheel came off there. Gee whiz.
I mean, is this to hit the cameraman and win a Nissan competition?
Very close. He nearly hit our cameraman there. Well, here it is again as he goes into the corner. Look, the left back wheel starts to get all wobbly. It just misses that car ahead. Goes for the fence, going for the towel. The cameraman's on the left under that canopy. Over the fence it goes. It hits the fence and goes down the... Gee whiz, are they lucky it didn't hit him. That weighs a couple of tons if it hits you.
That hits you, it's going to make you not feel too happy.
I would say. 1.5 laps to go in this race, just under 4 Ks. Who's going to do it? Musa has now got competition. Robin Longden is on his tail and starting to line him up, and they're getting into a bit of traffic. Well, there's one car to pass, clear roads ahead as they go up the hill. And look at Longden going out a little bit wider to try and pass him as they come through. There's number 8, nice little motor car. That's Kim Schön from Melbourne. Lovely little example of a Lotus, that one.
It just looks like a Lotus. It's the green and the yellow.
Yeah.
It's to me amazing.
Very fantastic. There he comes on the inside. Look at that little car. The carbs out the side there. 105 Anglia motor, 1000cc. And look at the acceleration. Gee whiz. Number 88 is flying along as well.
That's John Boyce in the Lotus 20. I mean, both of them having a good go at one another.
Absolutely. Here's one of the front engine cars. That's Duncan Rabliati, number 7, that orange car. Isn't that a little beauty? And that also looks like a Van Wall or one of the Lotus family as he goes. So he's the man who coordinated a lot of this. He's come over from Scotland to do it. Oh, and Doug Mockett, he's in 3rd spot at the moment. Ooh, locking up brakes.
He's working hard, Roger.
He is.
He's working that steering wheel. I mean, it's the guys are driving these cars.
Absolutely, and they haven't got much of this race left to go.
Look at this gaggle, Roger. I mean, it's guys coming through. Guys are actually racing. I mean, that's car number 16, David Reed and the Cooper. You know, the guys are going. And there's Henny the Flag, the most famous flagman in South Africa.
And out of the traffic, here came Marcus Musa. Yeah, very nice drive. First and a second to start the tour here of the Execuline Formula Juniors. Well, Musa took it there from Longdon. Then came Doug Mockett, a very good driver, the American. Philip Buhofer from Switzerland, he had that spin. And then John Chisholm in the Gemini. Well, I must say you guys put on some fantastic entertainment. It wasn't all going your way at the very beginning. I saw the Swiss driver was ahead of you at one stage for a while.
Yeah, he went past, all his four wheels were blocked, and he must have lasted 1 meter, and he went off at the hairpin, and I snicked past on the inside.
And
but
then
he
it was
did
all,
go past, yeah.
Anyway, you've had a good day. Okay, first and the second is very good. In this Execuline Super Prix, yeah, Formula Juniors. And I must say, as we said to you earlier, we talked to Robin, it actually surprises us, Robin. Nice second for you too.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the speed of your cars.
For little cars, they're very fast. Yeah, very
What weight are
aerodynamic. They weigh 400 kilos.
No wonder.
125 horsepower, 400 kilos.
125 horsepower.
Horsepower.
So you're talking about 100 and what kilowatts?
Yeah,
about 100
like
kilowatts. So
yeah.
8, 9, 90 kilowatts. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you need a lot of maintenance on the cars, or just drive and drive?
They're reasonably by motor racing standards.
Yeah.
It's not too expensive motor racing.
I think it's the way we all should go in the world, actually. Right, here's the last race on this program. It's the Pre-77 Trans Am and Historic Production Cars E and F. And once again, the big V8s are in front there. There's Mark Dutoy in the blue Shelby Mustang, that Boss Mustang. Boy, does that look good. Ben Morganroot's on pole position. Here he comes, left-hand side of the road, the white car with a red stripe down his bonnet. Willie's in the middle. I'm sure Willie's going to want to take him apart in this race. And inside there is Jonathan Dutoy. There's some wonderful races at this race meeting, other motor cars, and he flies in this tomorrow's race. And there you are, Francois, fifth going into the first corner.
That's it, Roger. Going to try and keep ahead of that Mini. That Mini is a Porsche eater, and I don't know what else. So we all need to have some fun.
And he does get into amongst. He must love it in that car. We always use the term often giant killer. Just behind your car is Tim Bowles from the Isle of Man. He's come out a few times. Does a lot of business in South Africa, and was telling us a lot of people from the Isle of Man, including Mr. Corder, who named the Rand, and decimalised South Africa. Here comes Willie now. Isn't that motor? Big power V8.
And they're all over the road, Roger. I mean, these guys aren't using slicks. The series doesn't allow you to use slicks, so you use a treaded race tyre. And, you know, there's a lot of horsepower that's got to go down through some relatively narrow tyres here. And, I mean, the guys have got to work. You've actually got to keep that car on the road.
They're giving that car a real workout. Here's Jonathan Dutoy behind him, his brother. This time he's ahead of him in the Boss Mustang. Isn't that a beautiful motor car? Just got into the country a couple of days before this. And your Porsche, what year is your Porsche, Francois?
Mine is a 1968 model car.
Can you believe it? And hanging on to all these big engines.
67, 68 car, yes.
It's unbelievable, and still so raceable, going around so quick. Look at Willie, gets it sideways. He is trying now to get Morgan ready. He lost out to Morgan in the first race. There's Carl Foss on the left-hand side. Down the middle is the Lobb boy, Ashley Lobb, the younger brother. And there's James Bennett. He's a fairly big fella. Driving, he just sits plonked in that motor car, and he goes around the circuit very quickly.
He enjoys it. I mean,
he does.
You know, everybody's out again, and these Mercedes-Benz, I mean, we never saw many Mercedes like that racing in the era, but we see a lot of them now in historic racing, and that's great to see. Once again, there is Pete Bredenaar in his Mini. Actually, his son, JP, as we said earlier, races Shelby's, and Jiv Giovanni's son are actually going to race that car in the 9-hour revival this year. So you've got
wonderful.
two sons actually racing the cars of the father.
Wonderful.
So it's the first time I think that's happened in South African motorsport.
Carl Foss has got that Lobb car, the Ashley Lobb Fiat. It's a 131 Abarth. Fiat used to be very good. Tony Varney drove one as well. Here they come. Carl Foss, Ashley Lobb. Then we've got James Bennett. Then we've got the second of the Fiats.
And that is Willem Pretorius in his Fiat Roger. We've also got Sophos Pantazis out there in the Alpha. Another one of the Mercs. I mean, watching them actually go around is great. I mean, they make a huge amount of noise. I don't think, not great engine modifications. And yes, Stephen, myself, once again.
Oh, you got past him.
I managed to get past there, but he's going to try for the outside there, Roger. We can see he's going to run up inside that Mini, just corners. I mean, you
can start to hate that when he starts doing that. Okay, but you dive in the inside, do you? Does he out-drag? That Mini, when that supercharger comes in basically from the bottom, does really go. This crowd has had wonderful entertainment at Zwartkops this whole weekend, in fact. There's the Mini, and you got slow. Oh, hold on, problems here for Mark Dutoy.
Yeah, I sort of had to get out of that move, Roger. Otherwise, a person doesn't need to damage any one of these historic cars, so a person is careful.
But Jonathan goes on his way. He's got up to a good third position there. Here's Steve, and you are staying right in with him with Tim Bowles in your mirrors.
Yeah, Tim Bowles in the mirrors, and I think what he's actually got is the grandstand house watching the two of us race, Roger. He's really enjoying it.
No, he does.
And there's Clive Densham just behind him in the Alpha. I mean, Clive, Alpha fanatic of note, and look at this, he's really trying to get to that Camaro.
No, he is, big time. The thing is, Tim Bowles, also the secretary of the Camaro Association in the UK, he just loves that car. Has brought it out here before, and some other cars, and loves coming to South Africa. He's from the Isle of Man, just outside Douglas. Here's, it looks like Bensel Norman coming through the Toyota. It's the original Toyota racing colours.
And then Adrian McCall in the Alpha trying to chase him down. And then we've got the Beetle. And that is a quick little Beetle. I don't want to be funny. That actually appears to be quite a quick Beetle.
Is it standard, you think?
I don't think it's quite standard. I think it's been tweaked slightly.
Slightly. It's been given the full house boy. Right, there's Mike Bishop and his little Renaults. Renaults over the years. And let's face it, these cars are 35 years old. Some of them even older now. JP Brearnham comes through, and Rodney, is that Rodney?
No, it's not JP, it's his dad, Pete
Brearnham. Pete Brearnham, of course it is, yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got Joe Soares. Here he comes, the two white lines down. His daughter started racing as well as Joe Soares in his little escort. He goes very well in that little escort, mixing it there with the Alphas. Right, we've got 2.5 laps to go. There's the leader. Where's Willie? Here comes Ben. It looks like he's taking it easy. Taking it easy, nothing. He's getting it sideways.
He's still sliding.
They're lapping the circuit at 1:11. That's quick, and there is Willie. Second position. Look at this. Watch this.
And he's working that steering wheel. Roger sliding that car over.
Giving it a work. Look at the traffic. Now they've got to get through. Ben's got the advantage going down here past Carl Fossman, Persis past Warren's little Fiat Uno.
Now he's got to try and get through here.
Where do you go?
Traffic jam. There we go. Finds his way through. But lost a bit of time to Ben on that one.
So Ben has got this wrapped up, no doubt about it. It's a pity. He's 2 laps to go in this race, but Willie's going to keep trying. There you are. Miller's ahead of you again. He got you on the brakes there, that little lightweight Mini.
And Bowles making his Camaro as wide as possible to prohibit any passing from Densham. He's getting quite upset at the back end.
It's just taking a different line to him. He's come through. The Densham's very good. He did well down East London, the 3-hour race. We had atrocious weather down East London. And Clive Densham, his first look there, and he won a race down there too. Well, he's certainly going in that Porsche of yours, France. It's a potent car.
It's a nice car to drive, Roger. I mean, we've spent a bit of time developing the car. It's got a 2.8 litre motor with the original had a 2, but it really is a great car to drive.
And you're 2 seconds slower than these V8s. I mean, the motor's like under half the size of it.
Yeah, but the V8s weigh a couple of tons more. But
tons is good. But Willie's coming down. As he comes down, he sees Ben on the inside. Now we're going into the last lap, but one. We've got about 5 Ks in this race to do. Willie's got to make a quick plan, get through the traffic quickly as he gets past Minis, the Brearnham Mini. And you can see there's the Roberts car. That's Selwyn and his son Michael. They race these Mercs, and they go really well.
Sophos Pantaz is just being lapped there, Roger. Willie Hepburn having to also still work his way past the Merc and the little Alpha that's going to up in front, working hard at it and trying to chase down Ben.
So that drag race out of the corner, is it quick? Right, here comes now. Pretorius is on the left-hand side in his Fiat. He's about to be passed very quickly. And the Fong cars there, the little red Escort getting onto the brake box. He leaves it right up to 50 metres. That's pretty late, that from
That's pretty late, and Willie now starting to slide this car through. I mean, look at him Ben using some road, Willie using a bit more road just to try and stay with him. And now they've got a lap and a bit to go. If Willie wants to do something, he has to do it now.
And these are 2 old hands at this racing, that's for sure. They've been racing West Banks and fighting it out for many, many years. They come inside Bishop. He needs to get past very quickly. Ben says, come out. Willie's going sideways. He's giving that car a total workout. Where do you go now?
No, where do you go? I mean, I think Willie's drawn the short straw on this one. He's now stuck behind Bishop in the little Renault, and he's going to have to wait for the gap. There we can go. And then he's still got to get past Foss, so he's got to try and find his way through. Ducking out. I think Ben got a bit of time on him on that one.
I did. Okay, we're into the last lap. We've got 2 kilometres of this race to go. Ben actually raises inside front wheel. Willie's still trying. He's back on his tail. It is one determined Willie Hepburn, that's for sure. And it's the fastest gear changer I've ever known in a motor car. It sounds like an automatic. He does. And here you are, Miller. You've got him in sight as well with Tim Bowles on your tail. And Densham hasn't been able to deal with number 34 from the Isle of Man, and that Tim Bowles in the Camaro.
That's right. And I mean, Tim Bowles, as a great sign of goodwill, Roger, he actually brought a little prize to every driver that competed. He actually brought everybody a letter opener from the Isle of Man. Each competitor, he brought one, which I think was a great gesture.
Lovely. Right, Ben, has he got it summed up? Where's Willie? We're waiting for him, and Ben gets us. He's right there too. What's the traffic going to do? Is the way down to the flag. Listen to the power and getting it sideways. Fantastic stuff, and that's what people love to see. Listen to it.
Wonderful growl as he comes down, bang, bang through the box. But I don't think he's going to be able to catch Ben. I mean, this is all done.
So across the line, gets the flag, Ben Morgan in 2 for the day. Wonderful racing there by Ben. Willie Hepburn second. And almost unseen in this race, because we're watching that first one, Jonathan Dutoy, very good performance in yet another Chev Camaro. Steve Miller finishing ahead of Francis Wright in his tail. And then Tim Bowles 6th in his Camaro. Yeah, you two guys had a great dance in that race. I mean, it was touch and go all the time. You had him in one part of the circuit. Francois had it seemed to be on acceleration, eh, Francois?
Definitely. I mean, my car's got more power, Roger, so I can get to the Mini, but Steve's handling is exceptional.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
And a lot lighter than your car.
Of course, I think Steve's about 500 kilos, I think, at the end of the day, so the power to weight ratio in that car is amazing, which really makes it a great car to drive.
No, that's great. I mean, that dice made the race. It really was really good. And Steve, I mean, the car arrived late, just in time, as Graham said. He was on that pit wall, egging you on, boy, and screaming for you.
Well, he's the most enthusiastic supporter, I must be honest, but he also gets quite heavy when you don't perform in his little car, so yeah.
But listen now, just as far as performance goes, I mean, it's off to use the expression giant killer. What did you get it on the braking into the corners? Where do you get Francois?
Yeah, it's mainly braking, to be honest. It's so light, it's like you can just stop it on a ticky, but also you can throw it at the corners, and if you scare him enough, it gives you a bit of space.
And coverage of these races brought to you by Execuline, by Castrol, Goodyear, and also Car Magazine. Next week on Rapid Motion Africa, more historic racing from a historic circuit, actually, Polani in Cape Town.